You're on.
Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. I'm Reverend Theresa Feberts, and I am so excited to see you today, this Sunday before Thanksgiving. So welcome into my home, and thank you for bringing me into yours. It's a pretty cool way that we get to continue to connect, and I am really grateful for that. I'm grateful for the technology. I'm grateful for the community that continues to grow and for the ideas that continue to inform us about how we can do that even better. We are a community of committed people, committed to the idea of creating a world that works for everyone and everything. That's what this teaching is about. We teach the science of mind. We look to the thread of truth that runs through all religion. And this is beyond a Sunday morning, albeit I'm glad that you're here with us on Sunday morning. But we talk about and we teach tools to help us day in and day out navigate our lives in a way where we don't lose track of the fact that it's all God. By whatever name you want to call it, there's one source, one substance, one power, one presence. It is in, as, and through me because it is me in form. And the same goes for you. And when we can look at all life from that perspective, things change. When our perspective changes, things change. So, this morning, we're continuing our 30-day challenge, our conversation about gratitude in the different areas of our lives. And we're talking specifically this morning about finances or prosperity, abundance. And we're going to look at what that is and how gratitude really informs and lifts our vibration around the idea of money or the idea of abundance and prosperity. I have definitely changed my prosperity consciousness since I found this teaching in 1992. So I have complete and total faith that you can too, if that's what you need to do. And even if money is not an issue for you, maybe we can always have a bigger bucket. We can always have a bigger bucket for something that we want to create and experience and enjoy in our lives. So that's what we're talking about. So it's not just money, but it is money too. So again, thanks for being with us as we delve into gratitude. Into gratitude. I'd like to begin with a prayer. If you would just join me. In closing your eyes, tuning out that which is around us, and going to that place within us. That place that we can connect to the allness of life, to the fullness of life, to the power and the presence that is never further than a breath away, a moment, a thought, a decision, to tune inward to the source of life and feel that personal connection that each and every one of us has. Because there's only one thing ever happening. It is life coming from the invisible form, that unformed substance coming into form, and it does so by means of me. It does so by means of me now, by the power of my word. And I use my word not only for myself, but for each and every person that tunes in here this day, or any day, or anyone anywhere. I know this truth, that the one life so wants to experience and express itself always in an ever-expanding greater way, in a more abundant, a more prosperous, a healthier, fuller, freer way. So it does so by means of each one of us. We are, in fact, unique incarnations of this one, endowed with its gifts of creative intelligence. And so I use that now in gratitude for this thriving spiritual community. 1 year to the date of our installation ceremony where we claimed ourselves as a spiritual community, where we made a commitment to it. And I know that that commitment has only continued to grow as this is an idea in the mind of God called the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. And in that idea is every resource that's needed to continue to expand this truth teaching, this wisdom teaching, these spiritual principles and spiritual tools that literally transform lives. I feel that gratitude now for this teaching, for all the teachers that came before me and all that come after me, for all the inspiration given, for all the uplift that has been given, for the lives that have changed, and for those that are changing right now by the power of this word. I do change my thinking and change my life. For I know that my good only expands in this moment. There is no limit, there is no limitation, there is no boundary or border around the good that is mine. And I claim it now, for I know that I do good with my good. I do good with the good that is given to me. I express life freely, fully, and joyously. And I am so grateful for this ability. I know that I am inseparable and unstoppable, as is each person here, as is this community. As it grows, it is inseparable from source and unstoppable. And so I let it be. And join me in claiming this truth for us and for the world. And so it is. I'm super excited this morning. Once again, we have Emily Ross joining us, and it's always just such an incredible treat to have her with us and for her to share so beautifully and authentically her music. So please welcome Emily Ross.
Thank you very much for that introduction. So I'm going to sing a perspective shifting song. This is a song called Another Dawn that I wrote. And I wrote this, I wanted a song about how there's sometimes where I feel really down, and I always think, okay, well, what can I do to help somebody else? Because I always notice that whenever I go to help someone else, or whenever I go to give something to someone else, I always end up feeling better. So this is kind of like my Thanksgiving song. It's called Another Dawn. Morning time it comes, and then I disappear into my room where I'm alone again in this town that's building up and where I've always been. Simple lives have been known to end. If I can just sit still a while and think of you, my friend, it's the way I give that brings me what I need within again. 'Cause if I can be someone to help my friends, then it's worth living. It's worth living. know I'll see again. It's the dawning of the light, so I can feel something again. 'Cause if I can be someone to help my friends, then it's worth living. It's worth living. Yeah, it would help me wake myself again to the dawn that always gives another chance. Give love, yeah, you gotta give it up. Yeah, you gotta give your love. You gotta give your love to lift it up. It's time to get up. Give love, yeah, you gotta give it up. Yeah, you gotta give your love. You gotta give your love to lift it up. It's time to get up. Da, 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 It's time to get up. Give love. Yeah, you gotta give it up. Yeah, you gotta give your love. You gotta give your love to lift it up. It's time to get up.
Good morning. I have 3 short readings this morning. The first one is from Richard Moss and the Mandala of Being. Love and gratitude for others can never really be full when we believe we need them in order to feel whole. They can always leave us and hurt us, but when we come home to our beginning, we experience real gratitude and no fear that someone can take something of ourselves away from us. And second, from Howard Thurman, an excerpt from The Harvest of the Heart. We are always in the midst of the harvest and always in the midst of planting. The words we use in communication, the profound stirrings of the mind, out of which thoughts and ideas arise, the ebb and flow of desires, out of which the simple or complex deed develops, are all caught in the process of reaping and sowing, of planting and harvesting. There are no anonymous deeds, no casual processes. Living is a shared process. Even as I am conscious of things growing in me planted by others, which things are always ripening, so others are conscious of things growing in them planted by me, which are always ripening. Inasmuch as I do not live or die unto myself, it is the essence of wisdom for me conscientiously to live and die in the profound awareness of other people. And from Ernest Holmes, 365, Science of Mind. The attitudes of praise and thanksgiving are salutary. They not only lighten the consciousness, lifting it out of sadness and depression, they elevate consciousness to a point of acceptance. Praise and thanksgiving are attitudes of recognition. They are affirmations of the divine presence, the divine abundance, and the divine givingness. It is only when we live affirmatively that we are happy. It is only when we recognize that the universe is built on affirmation that we can become happy. Today, through praise and thanksgiving, I recognize the divine presence in everything. In the midst of darkness, I will sing a song for the dawn, for I know that the eternal light dissipates all darkness. Today, I the beautiful and the perfect in everything. I will call it forth with praise and thanksgiving, blessing the spiritual reality back of all things. And now back to Emily for another song.
All right. So this is another gratitude song. This one's called "Beauty in Your Mind," and it's a perspective shift again, about as soon as you recognize the things you're grateful for, like the sky above you, the clouds, there's a ground beneath you, your thoughts will change. So beauty in your mind, your thoughts will change when you become more grateful. I guess that's what this song's about. Why can't we get by? Just looking at the clouds we see with solid ground beneath our feet. To be so trying. We're all caught up in what's missing, not thinking of the things still alive. It's a crime. Move towards all the things that make you smile while you got time. Just sit and watch the world, and then you beauty in your eyes. Stars still seem to shine. Though they're dying, they'll still catch your eye. Looking past in time. Well, life feeling kinda dry. So if these clouds, they wanna rain on me, well, I'll still sit here happily and watch as people passing by. Mad at all the storms they see, they look for ways to get angry and sigh. It's a crime. Move towards all the things that make you smile while you got time. Just sit and watch the world, and then you'll find beauty in your mind. The waves still crash in time. So when you cry, remember they're alright. The world still turns tonight. And you'll find beauty in your mind. The stars still seem to shine. Though they're dying, they'll still catch your eye. Looking past in time, and you ask why. Oh, how do I get by? Well, I'm just looking at the clouds I see with solid ground beneath my feet.
Thank you. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Rev G. It's just so great to have you all with us. I love it. I say this often, but I love how we don't orchestrate, but the universe orchestrates, and how the songs and the readings always just fit so perfectly together. And I'm just so grateful to have people on our team that stay open that stay open to calls to them. That's right. So we're going to move towards things that make you smile this morning, as Emily's saying. That's what we're looking to do. My talk title, I actually have two because I couldn't decide. Gratitude is gold, or Appreciation appreciates. I like them both. So what we're talking about this morning is the important role that gratitude plays in the operation of the law of attraction. That's really what it's about. Because what we teach in Science of Mind, what we know in New Thought, is that what we focus on expands. Where attention goes, energy flows. You know, you've heard that. So this is a powerful law that we're working with here. And we've already spent 3 weeks discussing the benefits of gratitude and talking about different spiritual practices. And this morning we're specifically looking then at prosperity, how it affects our money situation. But gratitude raises our vibration. It raises our vibration so that we're a match for that which we want to have in our lives, for that which we seek to experience more of in our lives. Like Rev G just read, Ernest Holmes said, I will call it forth by praise and thanksgiving, and amen. That is, in fact, what we're doing. So today we're going to raise our vibe to what we want in the financial department. And like I said earlier, you may not have any financial issues, but I believe that we can all have a bigger bucket. We can accept more. This is an unlimited universe. So let us not come to source with a thimble, right? Let's increase our bucket size. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why that's a good thing. Gratitude can transform every single area of our lives. So we're not leaving this area out. It's a acknowledgement. Gratitude is an acknowledgement that we live and move and have our being in source, in a loving and supportive universe. That's what we're saying when we're in a state of appreciation, in a state of thanksgiving. Ernest Holmes said, God is spirit. Spirit is substance. Substance is supply. So there's our chain of thinking this morning. And it's key to living an abundant life, to follow that back, that our source is not our job, or our source is not our spouse, or our source is not that check that comes every month in the mail. It's God, by whatever name you want to call it. And when we recognize that truth in our lives, things really, really expand. We're not fazed by conditions any longer, and we can find gratitude in every circumstance, every situation that we find ourselves in. Every New Thought book, every Science Mind book, every self-help book probably on prosperity has a chapter on gratitude. I'm convinced. I've gone through my stack of books, which is probably 3 times what you see behind me, just on prosperity. And Wallace Wattles, which is 1910, he wrote this book in 1910. It's a classic. It's called The Science of Getting Rich. Is a real no BS approach to money. He's very straightforward in it, very, very concise in his language. He says the whole process of mental adjustment and atonement, which of course is what Emily was just talking about, the whole process of mental adjustment and atonement can be summed up in one word: gratitude. Gratitude. Now, many of you took that badass class with me. I think it was in the beginning of the year, was it not? But it was You Are a Badass, right? And that was a great class. We had a lot of fun with that book. She's a more current author than Wallace Wattles, right? So Jen Sincero. And 3 years ago, she wrote a sequel to that book, You Are a Badass at Making Money. And she has a chapter on gratitude. And she says that it is the granddaddy of all personal workout coaches, whether it's strengthening your faith, strengthening your beliefs, your frequency, your thoughts, your relationship with the universal intelligence, Gratitude is a one-stop shopping on your road to mightiness. And I say amen to that. We all want to have that kind of juicy life that we're living. And so when Wallace Wattles is talking about a mental adjustment, that is a shift in our perspective, an attitude adjustment. You know, we've got that science of mind mantra, change your thinking, change your life. That is what we're talking about. Financial abundance, prosperity. We want to drop those false beliefs that we have around those ideas that keep us in bondage, because the power of our thoughts can either set us free or keep us stuck. And our spiritual practices are key. And so we started this month, we start every month, really looking at spiritual practice. Because spiritual practices bring us into the awareness of the allness of life, the fullness of God, the gift of the Creator, the immediacy of its presence, and the availability of its power for us to use. Wallace Wattles again said, the nearer we live to the source of wealth, i.e., source of all life, right? The nearer we live to the source of wealth, the more wealth we shall receive. He goes on to say that the soul that is always grateful lives in closer touch with God. I do believe that is so. I really do. So we want to stay fixated, if you must say, fixated on the source of our lives, on the source of our good, our God. This is a reciprocal universe, and I talk about that in many different ways on different Sundays. But gratitude is one of those ways that we see the universe being reciprocal, that kind of give and take process of life. Gratitude is the outreaching of our minds, I would say our minds and our hearts, to source. And so we want to aim for strong and consistent, constant faith and focus and attention and communion in that way, so that we assure the response from the universe, what we get back, is also strong and consistent, right? So I'm going to ask you, what does that look like for you? What does prosperity look like for you? Is it mansions and diamonds and convertibles and beach houses? Is it vacations? What is it? Prosperity comes in all shapes and sizes. All shapes and sizes. It is health, it is wealth, it is friends, it is family, it is freedom. That probably is one of my favorite definitions of prosperity. It's the freedom to do what I want when I want. Prosperity. It's freedom for me. What is it for you? It could be a sense of well-being, peace of mind, but it is also money. It is also money. So I want to tell you a story about Raymond Charles Barker that I heard. He founded the first Church of Religious Science in Manhattan in 1946. And by the 1960s, he had such a huge congregation. They had moved from place to place, and they ended up being in the Lincoln Center. There were so many people. So he comes out on stage one Sunday morning, and he takes out his wallet, and he opens up his wallet, and he takes out his money, and he starts kissing it. He starts kissing it. He's loving on his money. And people are getting a little uncomfortable with this. And you can hear some people are gasping. And so he stops and he says, you know, if I had brought my grandchildren out here and loved on them, you would have been just filled, wouldn't you, with gratitude and excitement and love. So, what are you thinking about money? Why is money any different? What is in your consciousness around money? See, what we know is that everything comes from that unformed substance. Source and substance is one. Yes? So, Money is currency. Money is energy. Money is the divine flow of spirit in our lives. Is it not? Yeah, it is. I mean, if everything's God, that's what we teach, then money is too. God in action. So, I love that example of Raymond Charles Barker, but look at the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm going to give you another example. Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa. You know, she grew up very wealthy and took a vow of poverty to do the work that she did. But it did take money to allow Mother Teresa to do the work that she did, although she took a personal vow of poverty. And when she won the Nobel Peace Prize, which carried a purse of about $190,000, she was very grateful for the money. She used the money to continue to do her work with the poor and the homeless and the ill. And she said this: "Thank God for his gift for the poor." She was recognizing where the source of that substance came from, right? Thank God for his gift for the poor. God's blessings will be with the people who have given the prize. She recognized the reciprocal nature of life, didn't she? She's saying there's blessings for the people who gave this prize. And then she continued, "I hope it will be the means of bringing peace and happiness in the world of today." She saw the possibilities of that $190,000. See, money has the ability, as anything else really, to be used for good or not so good. And so I'm going to caution us to check in with our judgments that we might have around money. Clean up our language and our thoughts of money. Phrases like dirty money, filthy rich, they have no place in our vocabulary. They have no place in the vocabulary of the prosperous. So we want to also reconsider our resentments of people that have money. Money can be the source of feeding the hungry, healing people, developing a vaccine, or building schools, providing fresh water to those who need it. We want to get clear. I'm inviting you to get clear this morning, this week. Spend time creating a mental picture of what it is that you want in the financial department, in the prosperity department. What is it for you? This is a mental equivalent. And don't forget to add your emotions to it. You know, do you want to give more to charity? Do you want to be a greater support to causes that you believe in, like this community? Do you want to have a new home? Do you need a new car? Do you want to travel more? Really dive down into what that picture looks like, and then spend your time feeling it, feeling that the gratitude and the joy of these experiences that you're calling forth. Wallace Wattles again said, "The grateful mind continually expects good things." Continually expects good things. This morning in my journaling, in my gratitude journaling this morning, it came to me that I do good with my good. Just like Mother Teresa did. I do good with the capital G that is gifted to me. I do good with my good. Wallace Wattles also told us that we should give thanks for all things. We've heard that mantra from others. Meister Eckhart. If the only prayer you ever say is a prayer of thanks, it is good. Last week, I'm going to remind you that we had a conversation around gratitude for the people in our lives, for relationships, and I said for even the people that challenge us. Even the people that challenge us. Because maybe they brought us to a greater understanding of ourselves, or helped us develop a greater self-worth, or helped us create healthy boundaries for ourselves, helped us create much needed changes in our lives. Today's Science Mind magazine, the daily reads, it's fabulous this month. I hope you're getting the magazine. And if you're not, maybe send me a note, because I have boxes of them right now. But Hefon Seeley is writing these this month. And today's was turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones. I loved that. Turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones. Let's not stay stuck, because we create from our mental patterns. And it's your choice. It's your choice what we're creating. My advice is that we not waste precious creative energy on what we don't want anymore. Last week, I also spoke about forgiveness. Again, every New Thought book on prosperity also addresses forgiveness, gratitude and forgiveness. Catherine Ponder, who wrote, like 18 books, was a Unity minister in the late 50s through the 70s, and she wrote most of her 18 books were on abundance. And she talks about making way for the new good to rush in by forgiving. That sometimes we have to release things in order to accept new things. We have to create a vacuum in order to accept our good. And so one way to do that is let go of resentments. Let go of those old stories, those old ideas, those negative feelings that we have around people and circumstances and events, to increase our availability to the good that is here for us. To stop bemoaning the past and start dwelling on what we want instead. And we have the tools to do that. We really have everything already. Ralph Waldo Emerson, who's one of my favorites, says we have it all. We have it all. He said we're born to be rich, or to inevitably grow rich by the use of our faculties, by the use of our mental faculties, by our emotional ability to conjure that incredible, strong, clear, definite, decisive mental equivalent of what it is that we want. You are a thinking, creative being. So proceed wisely. Proceed wisely. I want to share a little bit about our annual meeting last week. I'm so grateful to the people that showed up for that. We had a fabulous event. But I want to share specifically how your CSLCC Board of Trustees and myself are using these principles and practices, are using what I teach, using the idea of gratitude. So we had a great turnout. We had approximately 45 people, I think. And it was a full program. We had 12 different presenters, and it moved along really smoothly, and it was very informative, and I'm just incredibly grateful to each and every person. One announcement that our board made was that we had a $9,000 deficit this year in 2020. $9,000. And I want to share how we are approaching this loss, or what some people might see as a loss. We're grateful. We're grateful. We've shifted our perspective to a perspective of gratitude, because we began this year with a very healthy bank account. And we intended to use that to find a rental for classes and house concerts. But the world sent us in another direction, didn't it? It sent all of us into another direction. But we feel grateful that we had the funds to withstand this storm. And we're grateful, and in that gratitude, we stand poised for a course correction that is only upward. That's all we will accept. Wallace Wattles said, gratitude alone can keep you looking towards the all and prevent you from falling into the error of thinking of the supply as limited. To do so, he says, would be fatal to your hopes. And the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast is beyond hopes. We have beyond hopes. We have a vision, a very strong, a very clear, a very dynamic vision. This is an idea in the mind of God, and it is unfolding itself by means of each one of us. And we will not fall victim to conditions. Instead, we look to source. We look to source for ideas, which Ernest Holmes said is God's currency. One of my favorite books on prosperity is Eric Butterworth's Spiritual Economics. Love this book. Love this book. And he says, the grateful heart actually opens the way to flow and becomes an attractive force to draw things to itself, to draw great things to itself. That's the law of attraction, and that is the power of a grateful heart. And this is what your community is doing. And this is what you can do too. If your finances are low, you cannot afford not to be grateful. Do you hear me? If your finances are not what you need or what you desire, you cannot afford not to be grateful. So find the things to be grateful for. Do as Eckhart Tolle suggests, acknowledging the good, because he said acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. So this is it. Regardless of appearances, we must see the divine in, as, and through all, align ourselves with its presence, and feel that connection. Feel that connection. Know that we are inseparable from our source, from our good. And then declare our truth. Declare, in spite of what we might see, what our good is. Your consciousness is your supply. Your consciousness is the size of your bucket, be it a thimble or a bucket or a big old, I don't know. See how big it is for you. Your consciousness is your supply. And if it feels too much, if it feels too daunting to imagine affirming your wealth when there is none, if the fact is there is none in your bank account, and ruminating with this truth feels too big, ask for help. Make an appointment with a practitioner. That's what we're here for. We're here to support you in this. So here's your assignment for the week of Thanksgiving. I want you to up your ante. Up your ante with the gratitude practices. We've given a lot out this week, or this month so far. Go back and listen to videos if you have to pick up some more. Make a list of your prosperity desires. Give it a mental equivalent, a mental picture. Add the emotion into it. Reinforce it by giving thanks for it in advance. Writing affirmations about it. Visualizing it. Do this on a daily basis. Do this on a daily basis. And be safe. Write letters of gratitude to your friends and family. And be conscious. This is Black Friday coming up this week. Spend mindfully. And be thankful, as I am thankful for you. And I'm also thankful that Emily's got another song for us. Namaste.
All right. I moved into another room because I realized that maybe my internet was going in and out, but it's good now. It's all good. So gratitude moves you towards all, and this song is called All For You. This is one of the first songs I ever wrote when I was 15, and I actually wrote it about how everything that happens to you is for a reason. It's kind of that idea where it's all for you. Who are you to decide whether it's good or bad? It's all for you. And relating it to gratitude, it's all for you. So, it's all for you. So you just have to narrow your thought into what you want because it's all for you. All you have to do is just focus your thought. So, all right. Disappear, well, yeah, you better try. Though you're gone, you won't be lost in mine. The world isn't such an empty place. You've heard all this before in your own way. So don't be scared of what you see, and don't blur out what's in between. Allow your strength obtained. 'Cause what if it was all for you? Oh, what if it was all for you? Oh, what if it was all for you? Oh, to those who may be lying in their guilt, it seems like every flower has to wilt. That's because they have already bloomed. Something that you know's inside of you. So don't be scared of what you mean. Don't blur out what's in between. Allow your strength enough to change how you feel with what you've obtained today. 'Cause what if it was all for you? Oh, what if it was all for you? Oh, what if it was all for you? Oh, what if it was all for you? What if it was all for you? What if it was all for you? Whoa, whoa. I love you guys. Thanks for having me today. Enjoy your Sunday. Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, Mike, you need to unmute yourself.
Thank you. A lot of people wish I'd mute myself more often. But anyway, it's Mike, and it's great to be here with you today. And it's now time for our love offering. And Evan will be posting our different methods for you today to submit your opportunity to circulate, as Reverend Emil refers to it, and I love it, our opportunity to circulate. My quote today is as such: the first step in achieving prosperity and wealth is learning to appreciate what you already have. Again, the first step in achieving prosperity and wealth is learning to appreciate what you already have. Sounds like gratitude at work, doesn't it? In line with our message today by Theresa. So again, I want to remind you now to please give from an attitude of gratitude today. And now I'd like to do a short prosperity prayer for you. So please close your eyes if you're comfortable and listen in. We align our conscious thought with the spiritual principle of circulation. We live this day in complete acceptance of each moment. There is nothing to resist. We see conditions in a holy light. It is always perfect. We are empowered because we know we create change in our experience with a new thought. We embrace the idea that love is right where we are, fulfilling our every need. We dismiss all habits of criticism and doubt and operate from a conscious creation. Grateful, yes, grateful that we're willing to see things differently. The peace within us precedes our next step. We live within the divine circulation of spirit. The seed we plant in thought returns to us and continues to evolve according to conscious direction. We feel the presence of spirit and know we are blessed. We are grateful for this one life, this one infinite power that is all responsive and has already manifested this in the mind of God. And so it is. So thank you again for your support and happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Now back to Theresa.
Oh, Mike, thank you so much. Thank you for that wonderful prayer. I feel so abundant and blessed and grateful. Let's sing together. I receive the gift of life. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. Come on up here. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
Yeah. Yeah, that little chant has the reciprocal nature in there, the gratitude. Wow. That's pretty awesome. Thank you all. Thank you for being with us here today. Thanks for being part of our community. We love you. We are so incredibly grateful for each one of you. I'm grateful to Emily and to Rev G and to Mike for being with us this morning and sharing their authentic light, and thankful and grateful for each one of you being with us and for your financial support. We invite you to join us, Bobby and I, again for a social time now via Zoom. I will be posting the link, and you can come on and just hang out with us for 5, 10, 15 minutes or the whole hour. We're there an hour, and it's a lot of fun. We usually have between, 10 and 15 people on with us. And so everybody is welcome. I'll be posting the link. And also just one more reminder, Julie has posted a couple times that on Thanksgiving morning, her meditation class or meditation time will be in the morning at 9 o'clock in the morning instead of 6:30 at night. The group decided that they wanted to start their Thanksgiving day that way. So it will be a meditation of gratitude on Thanksgiving morning at 9 o'clock. The link will be in your email Thanksgiving morning, 6:15. I think it normally hits your email. If you are not receiving our emails, you can go to our website and sign up to be on the newsletter. The website is CSLCulturalCoast.org. And with that, again, I thank you, and I'm going to let Bobby come back and close us out. Mwah! I love you, and I'm grateful for you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Theresa. All right, so be a part of all those things. If you need prayer support for anything, please contact us, at cslculturalcoast.org for whatever you would like prayer for. And let's finish up with attitude of gratitude. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. I thank the universe for each new day, whether it's sunny or it's pouring rain. In any situation, time or place, my grateful heart creates a state of grace. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. The darkness taught me how to praise the light. Wrongness make me hunger for what's right. Now there's not any place where I don't see heaven's blessings pouring down on me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. When Jesus fed the hungry multitude, he did it with a grateful attitude. Although it looked like there was not enough, he thanked his Father for abundant love. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. I won't be waiting when my ship comes in. Won't trade my here and now for something then. I'm finding pleasure in the simple things. It doesn't matter what tomorrow brings. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. I used to cry for deliverance, send desperate pleas to the heavens, but it wasn't until I gave up and got still I could see all the gifts I'd been given. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude, I've got an attitude of gratitude. Remain grateful.